The wildest rocker alive just gave away $63 million. Here's the crazy reason why. Ozzy Osbourne shocked the world one last time. After 50 years of being called the most dangerous man in rock music, he walked away from his final concert and donated every single penny to sick children. $63 million gone in one night. But this is just the ending of a story that starts with a poor kid from Birmingham who couldn't read properly and ends with one of the biggest charitable donations in music history. Picture this scene from July 2025. 40,000 people packed into Birmingham's Villa Park Stadium. Another 6 million watched online from around the world. On stage sat a 76-year-old man on a black throne. He could barely stand anymore because of Parkinson's disease, but his voice still made the crowd go wild. This was Ozzy Osbourne's final performance ever. When the last song ended and the lights went down, something incredible happened. Instead of keeping the massive pile of money from ticket sales, merchandise, and streaming rights, Ozzy gave it all away to 3 charities that help sick kids and fund medical research. Most people know Ozzy as the crazy guy who bit a bat's head off on stage. They remember him from that MTV show where he couldn't figure out how to use the TV remote. But the real story is much bigger and stranger than anyone imagined. This is about a man who went from being homeless and jobless to building a $220 million empire, then giving huge chunks of it away to help others. Let's go back to where it all started. Birmingham, England in 1948. John Michael Osbourne was born into a family with 6 kids and not much money. His dad worked in a factory, his mom cleaned houses for rich people. School was torture for young John because he couldn't read well and the other kids picked on him. The only good thing that happened was getting the nickname Ozzy, which stuck for life. Everything changed in 1963 when he heard the Beatles' song She Loves You on the radio. That 3-minute song made him drop out of school at 15 and decide he wanted to be a rock star. Problem was, Ozzy didn't know how to play any instruments. He couldn't afford a guitar or drums, so he got regular jobs instead, building houses, fixing pipes, working in factories. But every night he dreamed about being on stage like John Lennon and Paul McCartney. His big break came in 1967 when he joined a small band called Rare Breed. They weren't very good and broke up quickly, but Ozzy met 3 other guys from Birmingham who would change his life forever. Tony Iommi played guitar, Geezer Butler played bass, and Bill Ward played drums. In 1969, they decided to start a new band together. They needed a name and found inspiration from a horror movie called Black Sabbath. None of them realized they were about to invent heavy metal music. Their first album came out in 1970 and music critics absolutely hated it. Newspapers called it devil worship set to noise. Radio stations refused to play their songs, but young people loved it and bought the record anyway. Black Sabbath's sound was completely different from anything else. Where other bands sang about love and peace, they sang about war, darkness, and scary things. Ozzy's voice was unlike any singer before him. It could be gentle one second and terrifying the next. Albums like Paranoid and Master of Reality sold millions of copies despite getting terrible reviews. The band became famous for wild live shows where Ozzy would do shocking things to grab attention. He threw raw meat at audiences, bit the heads off doves, and acted completely insane on stage. Fame brought money, but it also brought serious problems. Ozzy started using drugs and alcohol heavily. First, it was just beer and marijuana, then harder stuff like cocaine and heroin. By the late 70s, his addiction was so bad that he couldn't function properly. He would show up late to concerts, forget lyrics, or sometimes not show up at all. His bandmates got fed up and fired him in 1979. Imagine getting kicked out of the band you helped create because you couldn't control your drinking and drug use. Most people thought Ozzy's career was over, but a young woman named Sharon Levy believed in him. She was the daughter of a music manager and saw potential in the messed-up singer from Birmingham. Sharon convinced Ozzy to move to Los Angeles and start fresh with a solo career. This decision saved his life and eventually made them both incredibly wealthy. The solo career started rocky. Ozzy formed a new band and released his first album, Diary of a Madman, in 1981. The album included a song called Crazy Train that would become one of the most famous rock songs ever recorded. Today, that one song has been streamed over 800 million times on Spotify alone. Working with talented guitarist Randy Rhoads, Ozzy created some of the best heavy metal music ever made. Tragically, Rhoads died in a plane crash in 1982, but Ozzy kept going. The 80s brought even crazier stories. During a 1982 concert in Iowa, someone threw a bat onto the stage. Ozzy thought it was a rubber toy, so he bit its head off to shock the crowd. Turns out the bat was real and alive. He had to get painful rabies shots right away, and animal rights groups went crazy with anger. The same year, he got drunk and put on one of Sharon's dresses for a joke. While walking around San Antonio wearing the dress, he decided to pee near a famous monument called the Alamo. Police arrested him and the city banned him for 10 whole years. The most serious trouble came in 1985 when parents blamed Ozzy's music for their son's suicide. They said his song Suicide Solution made their teenager kill himself. The case went to court and created a huge debate about whether rock music was dangerous for young people. Religious groups said Ozzy was promoting devil worship and corrupting America's youth. Newspapers ran scary stories about heavy metal turning kids evil. The lawsuit was eventually thrown out in 1986, but the whole experience really affected Ozzy. He realized his music had real power to influence people's lives. Through all this chaos, Sharon became his rock. They got married in 1982 and had 3 children, Amy in 1983, Kelly in 1984, and Jack in 1985. After Jack was born, Ozzy got a vasectomy because 3 kids felt like enough. Sharon wasn't just his wife, she became his business manager and the person who turned his wild talent into serious money. She organized his tours, handled his finances, and most importantly, she created Ozzfest. Ozzfest was a traveling heavy metal festival that started in 1996. Sharon's idea was brilliant. Instead of Ozzy just doing solo concerts, why not create a whole festival featuring many metal bands? The festival was hugely successful, making over $100 million and selling more than 5 million tickets during its run. Merchandise sales alone brought in $50 million. Ozzfest introduced new metal bands to huge audiences and proved that heavy metal music was bigger than ever. The new century brought unexpected fame through television. In 2002, MTV started a reality show called The Osbournes that followed Ozzy, Sharon, Kelly, and Jack around their house in California. The show revealed a totally different side of the Prince of Darkness. He was actually a confused, loving dad who couldn't figure out how to work the TV remote or set up his computer. America fell in love with this version of Ozzy. The family went from making $20,000 for the first season to $5 million per episode by the end. More TV shows followed. Ozzy and Jack's World Detour showed father and son traveling together and bonding over shared experiences. In 2022, Home to Roost documented their big move from California back to England. These programs showed viewers that behind all the wild stage performances and crazy stories was a regular person who loved his family and struggled with everyday things just like everyone else. But health problems were getting worse. In 2003, doctors told Ozzy he had Parkinsonism, a condition similar to Parkinson's disease. He kept this diagnosis secret for many years because he didn't want fans to worry. A bad accident on a quad bike damaged his spine and required multiple surgeries. In 2018, a dangerous infection nearly killed him. His hands started shaking more, walking became difficult, and performing on stage got harder and harder. In 2020, he finally told the public about his Parkinson's diagnosis. Despite physical challenges, Ozzy's business empire kept growing. His book, I Am Ozzy, came out in 2009 and became a #2 bestseller. The publisher paid him $3 million just for the right to print his life story. The book was completely honest about his drug problems, family relationships, and biggest mistakes. Fans loved his honesty about the dark parts of his life. His merchandise business exploded in the internet age. The Prince of Darkness brand made $50 million in 2014 alone. His face and logo appeared on t-shirts, coffee mugs, phone cases, and hundreds of other products. He even got into cryptocurrency with something called CryptoBats NFT collections. These modern business moves showed he understood how to make money in the digital world. Black Sabbath got back together for reunion tours in the late 2010s. Their Not in This Lifetime tour from 2016 to 2019 made over $580 million worldwide. Fans who grew up listening to their music brought their own kids to see the legendary band perform. The tour's massive success proved that even with health problems and decades of wear and tear, people still wanted to see Ozzy perform. His car collection shows both his success and personality. The Chevrolet Suburban is perfect for family trips with its powerful V8 engine. For fancy events, he drives a Mercedes Maybach with heated seats that give massages and an incredible sound system. His favorite car is a Rolls-Royce with a huge V12 engine that makes over 600 horsepower. The Bentley combines luxury with aggressive styling that matches his image. These expensive cars represent different parts of his life: family man, successful businessman, and rock legend. Getting sober was the hardest thing Ozzy ever did. His drinking and drug use got so bad that he lost Black Sabbath, nearly destroyed his marriage, and almost died multiple times. Sharon stood by him through dozens of failed attempts to get clean. Finally, in 2013, something clicked and he got sober for real. He's been clean for over 10 years now and talks openly about his addiction struggles to help other people facing similar problems. His current home in England reflects his new priorities. The mansion used to be a mental hospital, which seems perfect for the Prince of Darkness, but Ozzy had it completely renovated to help with his Parkinson's disease. The house now has a special medical wing and space for nurses to live there full-time. The living room has Gothic decorations with wooden beams and a huge fireplace. The kitchen mixes old-fashioned charm with modern conveniences. One bedroom was turned into a private movie theater where the family watches films together. Retirement from touring came in 2023 when doctors said performing was too dangerous for his health. But Ozzy wanted one final show in his hometown of Birmingham. The concert on July 5, 2025 was emotional for everyone involved. Unable to stand for long periods, he performed sitting on a black throne that made him look like a king. The symbolism was perfect. Even when his body was failing, his spirit remained strong. What happened next shocked everyone. Instead of keeping the $63 million the concert earned, Ozzy gave it all away. The Cure Parkinson's Trust got money for research into the disease he battles every day. Birmingham Children's Hospital received funding to help sick kids in his hometown. Acorns Children's Hospice, which cares for dying children, also got millions to continue their important work. This wasn't his first big donation either. Over the years, he's given $63 million to Birmingham Children's Hospital. When Sharon got cancer, they supported programs that help other families facing the same scary situation. He's performed charity concerts and donated to organizations that help poor kids and fight AIDS. Today, Ozzy is worth about $220 million. That money comes from album sales, streaming royalties, merchandise, tours, TV shows, and smart investments. Black Sabbath sold over 100 million albums worldwide. His solo career moved 51 million records. Crazy Train alone has made millions of dollars from movies, TV shows, and commercials that use the song. The man who once scared parents and religious leaders has become one of music's biggest charitable givers. His journey from addiction to sobriety, from chaos to charity, proves that people can completely change their lives. The crazy Prince of Darkness character was real, but it was never the whole story. Behind the makeup and wild behavior was someone who loved his family deeply and wanted to help other people facing tough times. Ozzy's transformation teaches us that it's never too late to become a better person. He made terrible mistakes, hurt people he loved, and nearly destroyed his life with drugs and alcohol. But he found a way to change, get sober, and use his success to help others. His story gives hope to anyone struggling with addiction, illness, or difficult circumstances. Hit subscribe to see which rock star secretly donated their entire fortune.